June 22, 1941, 04:15 a.m., border marshlands, 12 kilometers east of Grodno, Lithuania, Operation Barbarossa Day 1, mist clings to the mud like a shroud. Oberleutnant Hans von Kleist, Panzer III Ausf.H lurks hull down in birch copse, 50mm KWK, 38 L42 trained on the rutted track. Inside reeks of diesel, sweat, gun oil, crew tenses as engines rumble from the east. Soviet engines. Von Kleist peers through Zeiss TZF-5 Aus optics. Shapes emerge, crude sloped hulks churning through swamp where panzers would bog. Russische Traktoren, Gunner Lieutenant Fritz Bauer snorts. Russian tractors, ugly riveted hulls, wide mud-gripping tracks, 76mm guns like drain pipes. T-34-76, model 1940, first German sighting. Von Kleist laughs bitterly. Look at that weld job, tractor factory rejects. Crew chuckles. Panzer III's 50mm penetrates anywhere. T-34's 45mm are laughable. Radio crackles. Panzergruppe II, this is Tiger 1, Soviet light armor sighted, standard engagement, permission granted. Von Kleist commands, Fritz, traverse right 10 degrees, elevation 0, Zeal, lead tractor turret base. Turret winds smoothly, loader rams PSGR 38 APCBC home, you can feel tension coil like spring. First T-34 crest rise, 800 meters out, slab-sided turret, hexagonal hull, Christie suspension bouncing, ugly, unfinished. Von Kleist fires, Ka boom. Shell slams glacis, sparks fly, deflected, crew gasps, ricochet, reload, fire, turret ring hit, smoke billows. But that T-34 still rolls forward, slowly, tracks gripping mud impossibly. Behind it, not 3, dozens. Waves churning marshes, spaced for support. No panic. Radios buzz Russian voices, calm fire calls. Von Kleist's optics widen, sloped armor, 60mm glacis at 60 degrees, effective 120mm. His 50mm bounces beyond 400 meters, reports flood net. Panzer 23, 2 kills. T-34 penetrated side, confidence holds. Crude welds mean weak spots, but numbers, how many factories? Shells scream inbound, Soviet 76mm F-34s, high-velocity monsters. One glances von Kleist's mantlet, clang like thunder. Across front, 3rd Panzergruppe's panzers claim first blood. But T-34s don't stop. Wide tracks float through mud. Unhittable angles. Dawn strengthens. Von Kleist counts 30 T-34s. 30? Barbarossa plan didn't mention this. Then spotter yells, "More coming, heavy KV-1s behind." Oberleutnant Hans von Kleist wipes sweat from his episcope, heart pounding from the KV-1 near miss. His Panzer III Ausf.H squats hull down in birch cover, barrel smoking. One T-34 burns 600 meters out. 5 more prowl the marsh, probing. But von Kleist's crew breathes easier. They've faced Soviet junk before, and won. Flashback, France 1940, Panzer III shredded French Char B-1s at Sedan. Poland 1939, 70Ps brewed like teapots. Barbarossa briefings promise T-26s, BT-7s, 20mm guns, thin armor, T-34. Russische Fabrikfehler, Fritz Bauer sneers. Factory mistakes, riveted hulls begging for 50mm PSGR-38, rough welds crack under stress. Wide tracks, mud magnets. Von Kleist remembers training films. Panzer IV's KWK-37 penetrates T-34 glacis at 500 meters. Soviet 76mm F-34, low-velocity howitzer. Christie suspension bounces like cart. No commander's cupola, no optics. Tractor driver's view, General Guderian's briefing. Quantity has quality until quality multiplies. But these, crude, unfinished. Across net, confidence surges. Major General Erhard Rau's 6th Panzer Division reports, Soviet armor inferior, standard protocols. Panzer 23 claims 3 T-34s, flank shots through 40mm sides, 5-to-1 ratios expected. Marshes favor panzers, narrow tracks cut through snow. T-34's 500mm wide Christie tracks sink deep. Von Kleistke's radio, Tiger 1 to Gruppe 2, T-34 quality poor, request Stuka support, reply, Stuka's inbound, 8th Air Corps overhead, hold positions. Relief washes crew, Loader Hines jokes, by noon this swamps a Soviet graveyard, but doubt flickers. Sloped armor deflected his first shot, 60mm at 60 degrees equals 120mm effective. Panzer III penetrates 80mm max at 500 meters. Reload tungsten APCR, rare, issue rounds only. Marsh mud grips tracks tighter. Panzer III's 380mm tracks versus T-34's 500mm flotation. Reports crackle. Panzer XVII immobilized bogged. T-34 squadron flanking through swamp. Soviet radios chatter, not panic, methodical. Bort 1-2, advance bounding overwatch. Artillery incoming, 100 T-52mm howitzers walking fire. General Heinz Guderian faced this doubt at Minsk. His memoirs later admit, T-34 appeared primitive. Performance revolutionized tank design. Von Kleist shakes it off. Primitive welds, tractor engines. 1 Panzer III equals 3 T-34s, simple math. Shells bracket position. KV-2 152mm detonates 30 meters left, earth fountain. Fritz traverses frantically, spots T-34 platoon, 6 tanks hull down behind reeds, sloped, unhittable. Radio man stiffens. Tiger 1, from Panther prototype. T-34 armor exceeds projections, sloping revolutionary, urgent redesign required. Redesign. Von Kleist's blood chills. Panther? Rushed copy already? Engines growl closer. T-34 swarms form. Kharkov, Ukraine. Factory number 183. December 1939. Assembly lines roar like steel hurricanes. 15,000 workers, 3 shifts, 24 hours daily. No tractors, T-34s. Mikhail Koshkin's design rejected 3 times. Too radical. Sloped armor. Wide tracks. Christie suspension. Unproven, commissars sneered. But Stalin orders production. First prototype crushes Panzer III's in tests. You can hear welders hissing, V2 diesel engines snarling off stands, 500mm tracks clanking. No German precision, Soviet mass, stamped hulls from Walden 200 suppliers. Track link snaps, pull from BT-7 stock, engine seized, V2 swaps in 6 hours, Panzer III breakdowns. Weeks in Berlin factories, RAF bombed nightly. By Barbarossa, Soviets birthed 35,000 T-34s. Germany, 3,500 Panzers total, each T-34 270,000 rubles. Panzer IV, 103,000 Reichsmarks plus 300,000 man-hours. Von Kleist's crew laughs at tractors. Factory managers laugh at spreadsheets. Flash to Stalingrad tractor works. They pioneer T-34-85, upgunned with 85mm ZSS-53 that penetrates Tigers. Not elite guards. Every tank brigade gets them. 5th Guards Tank Army. Fields 500 by Kursk. Each reliable, each replaceable. Across front, railheads disgorge T-34 waves. Urals factories immune to Luftwaffe. No Mulberry harbors needed. Direct to Stalingrad, Moscow. German logistics. Rail lines sabotaged. Fuel ration 10 liters per Panzer IV daily. Von Kleist's radio crackles. Tiger 1 supply trains hit. Ammo low. He curses. Panzer III burns 500 liters per 100 case. T-34 V2 diesel sips 200. Endless. Back in Marsh, Von Kleist traverses, spots T-34 wave. Model 1941, improved welds, coaxial DT-MG. Wide tracks floating where Panzers bog. KV-1 Heavies trail, 75mm guns, useless against 120mm effective glacis. Guderian wrote, 1 Panzer IV equals 5 T-34s. But 50, Fritz Bauer reloads, last APCR tungsten. Everywhere, Loader Hines whispers. Engines growl closer, not fear, calculation. Spotter reports, T-34's massing assault. KV-2's inbound. KV-2's 152mm howitzer castles. Marsh nightmare worsens. Von Kleist's Panzer III Ausf.H squats in marsh ambush June 22, 1941, 06:45 a.m. T-34 wrecks smolder 500 meters out, 2 kills, flank shots through 40mm sides, but Horizon crawls with 40 more. His KWK-38L-42 penetrates glacis at 400 meters max. Beyond, bounces. T-34's sloped 60mm at 60 degrees equals 120mm effective. Panzer III mantlet, 30mm vulnerable. German armor doctrine. Panzer III, 5cm KWK-38, 42 caliber barrel, penetrates 80mm at 500 meters. Panzer IV KWK-37, 7.5cm low velocity, 90mm max. T-34 F-34, 76.2mm high velocity, 120mm penetration at 1 km. Christie suspension bounces 55 km/h across country. Panzer III interleave tracks clog mud instantly. Flashback, France 1940, Panzer III shredded Samoas at 1 km. Poland, 70 Ps brewed point blank. Barbarossa promised easy kills. Reality, T-34 glasses deflects Ps GR-38 beyond 500 ms. Welds strong. Soviet-stamped hulls flex, don't crack. Wide 500mm tracks float marshes. Panzer III's 380mm sink deep. Across net, cracks appear. Major Rouse 6th Panzer reports, T-34 armor exceeds specs. Flank shots only. Panzer XVII bogged. Interleave torsions trap mud. T-34 simple Christie springs laugh at swamps. Fuel. Panzer III guzzles 500 liters 100 km. T-34 V2 diesel sips 200. Endless reserves. Von Kleist tests limits. Traverse to max, slow, complex. T-34 turret ring spins 360 in 22 seconds. German optics. Zeiss TZF-5 superb. Soviet TMFD-7 adequate. But sloped hulls unhittable frontal. Loader-Hinds down to smoke rounds. No APCR left. Radio buzzes alarm. Panzergruppe II T-34 concentration 200+ sector blue. Luftwaffe delayed. 200, Von Kleist stomach knots. Panzer III. Production 5,700 total. T-34, 35,000 by Kursk. Daimler-Benz Precision versus Kharkov stampings. German tracks, 16 small wheels clog. T-34 5 large, self-cleaning. Guderian's France Blitzkrieg useless. Marsh's negate maneuver. T-34's hull down behind reeds, sloped, invisible. KV-1's trail, 152mm howitzers immune to 50mm. Panzer IV Ausf.D attempts counter. KWK-37 bounces glasses. First German tank bruise, flanked through swamp. Otto Carius later wrote, T-34 sloped armor revolutionized design. We copied it. Von Kleist grips traverse wheel. Panther prototype rushed. Sloped hull 75mm KWK-42 copying F-34. Too late. Shells inbound. KV-2 152mm detonates 20 meters left. Earth buries half track. Fritz spots T-34 squadron. 8 tanks coordinated. Engines thunder. Assault begins. June 22, 1941, 7:30 a.m. Dubaisa River crossings, 20 kilometers northeast of Kaunas. Dawn's gray light pierces mist. Oberleutnant Hans von Kleist's Panzer III Ausf.H relocated to bridgehead defense, 50mm KWK, trained on marshy approach. T-34 scouts probed yesterday. Now battalions roll. 5th Mechanized Corps, 35th Tank Division. 200 T-34-76s churning mud where panzers bog. Von Kleist optics sweep horizon. Model 1941 T-34s, improved welds, coaxial DTMGs chattering. Wide 500mm tracks float impossibly. Christie suspension bounding 40 km/h cross-country. Behind KV-1 Heavies loom. 75mm guns useless. Panzer III hull down behind wrecked BT-7s. Perfect kill box. Radio crackles triumph. Panzergruppe II, 35th Tank Division engaged, standard ratios. Von Kleist commands. Fritz traverse left 15 degrees, lead T-34 flank shot. Turret winds. Loader rams Pease GR-38, fire KA boom. Shell punches 40mm side, ammo cook-off, first kill, crew cheers, but that T-34, replacement slot instantly, bounding overwatch perfected. Lead elements suppress with 76mm HE, flanks probe with smoke, rears feed from T-70 scouts, no hesitation. Soviet commander, Colonel Mikhail Kharkov shouts net, Bort 1-1 advance to contact, artillery forward. Von Kleist counts 50 T-34s visible, more trailing. Kharkov factories disgorge waves, Factory 183 immune to Luftwaffe. German Panzer III production, 100 a month. Soviets, 1,000. Mulberry-style railheads unload direct to front. Panzer IV's rationed fuel, 10 liters daily. A cross-sector pattern repeats. Major Rao's 6th Panzer claims 15 kills, flanks only. Losses mount. Panzer XVII bogged, interleave tracks clogged. T-34 simple Christie Springs laugh at mud. KV-2's hull down, 152mm howitzers. Walking fire through birch groves. Panzers scatter. Von Kleist traverses right. Spots T-34 squadron, 6 tanks probing orchard. Sloped glosses unhittable frontal. Flank them! Fritz fires, smoke round only, loader down to HE. Soviet 76Me F-34's answer. High-velocity monsters glance mantlet. Armor holds, barely. Reports flood. Panzer 23 brood. Mud flank. T-34 concentration 300 sector red. 300? Von Kleist's blood chills. Barbarossa planned 3,500 Panzers versus 10,000 Soviet inferior tanks. Reality? T-34s replace losses hourly. Distant Stukas scream, Ju-87s dive on T-34 columns. 500-pound bombs crater marsh. But Soviet AA chatters, 37mm guns shred dive bombers. No air supremacy, T-34 waves tighten, coordinated. Radio man pales. Group of 2 Stalin reserves committed, T-34 brigades everywhere, regroup secondary line. Waves become flood. June 22, 1941. 09:15 a.m., Smolensk approach roads, 40 kilometers east of Minsk. Sun burns through mist, turning marsh into steam bath. Oberleutnant Hans von Kleist's Panzer III Ausf.H racks 3 T-34 kills. Flank shots through thin sides, barrel smokes. Crew's blood up, radio net sings triumph. SS Obersturmführer Otto Carius Panzer IV Ausf.H reports 6 T-34s destroyed, advancing. Across Panzergruppe II, aces rack kills like trophies. Hauptmann Hasso von Manteuffel claims 8, side shots at 300 meters. Tigers under Major Raus bag 12-1 ratios near Vitebsk. Standard engagement, von Manteuffel laughs. T-34s shatter like glass. Von Kleist spots victims. T-34 platoon probing crossroads. Lead model 1940, riveted turret, weak spots obvious. 400 meters, perfect. Fritz, traverse right 8 degrees. Flank shot, turret winds. Loader rams Pease GR-38. Kaboom! Side armor penetrates. Catastrophic brew-up. Turret launches. Number 4, cheers erupt. Einer weniger! GIs bail from trailing T-34's diving ditches. Panzerfaust teams? Non-existent. Barbarossa surprise. Von Kleist hunts number 5, flanker in orchard. 350 meters. Fire. Turret ring shattered. 5th kill. Smoke signals victory across battlefield. Net buzzes. 6th Panzer 25 T-34 Rex confirmed. Panzer 44 10 kills. Carius manual proven. 1 quality Panzer equals 5 crude Soviets. Von Manteuffel pushes forward. KDUK 37 claiming 9th, a KV-1 side shot. Marsh favors Panzers. Narrow track slice snow. T-34 wide track sink. Von Kleist reloads, scans for 6. Endless T-34 columns feed from east. 5th Mechanized Corps fields 400 tanks. Losses, 60 destroyed first hours. acceptable, replaceable. Panzer III, Maybach Pers reliable. Soviet V2 diesel sees mud. Across front 3rd Panzergruppe counterattacks. Oberstleutnant Max Wachtel's Heavies shred T-34 company, 18 kills, minimal losses. Von Kleist's Grenadiers mop with MG-34s. Marsh bleeds Soviet steel. Von Kleist grins. By dusk, Minsk highway ours. Loader cracks rations. Confidence peaks. Crude welds. Tractor engines. Radio man stiffens. Tiger 1, Gruppe 2 urgent. T-34 losses negligible. Replacements exceed kills. IL-2 Sturmovix overhead. Break contact. Negligible. Von Kleist peers optics. Horizon writhes. More T-34s. Accelerating. June 22, 1941, 11 o'clock a.m. Berezina River sector, 60 kilometers southwest of Smolensk. Heat haze shimmers over blackened wrecks. Oberleutnant Hans von Kleist's Panzer III Ausf.H claims 7 T-34 kills. Barrel fouled, optics fogged sweat. Crew exhausted but elated. Net tallies Panzergruppe II, 180 Soviet tanks destroyed. Blitzkrieg rhythm, von Kleist mutters. Minsk beckons. Then horizon darkens. T-34 brigades materialize. 10th Tank Division, fresh from Minsk reserves. 300 hulls, sloped gleisses gleaming. No fatigue. Factories 183 and 174 pump 2,000 monthly. Luftwaffe strikes miss Ural's depth. Railheads unload 50 kilometers behind lines. BT scout screen advances. Von Kleist's optics strain. More? How? Soviet doctrine unfolds. Deep battle reserves. Kharkov's 35th Division lost 80 tanks, 120 replacement slot instantly. T-34 crews trained 2 weeks. Ex-farmers master Christie bounce. German aces? Elite, irreplaceable. Panzer III mechanics clog behind. Interleave tracks demand hours cleaning mud. Von Kleist fires 8th. Flank shot at 250 meters, bruised spectacularly. But salvo answers. F-34 76mm shells crater Earth 10 meters ahead. High-velocity APHE glances mantlet, Spallpepper's interior. Loaderheinz hit, screams clutching face. Medics! Fritz traverses desperately, smoke only left. Reports cascade. 6th Panzer flanked by T-34 waves, losses mounting. Carius's Panzer IV bruise, swamp penetration. Von Manteuffel withdraws. Fuel critical, T-34 concentrations 500 plus 500? Barbarossa intel, 23,000 obsolete Soviet tanks. Reality? 12,000 T-34 KV hidden plus 20,000 BTT-26 fodder. IL-2, Sturmovix swarm, 37mm cannons shred panzer columns. No Me-109s, Luftwaffe fuels diverted. T-34s exploit, platoons bound forward, she suppresses infantry, 76mm picks heavies. Wide tracks conquer mud. Panzer III's bog 300 meters back. Von Kleist signals retreat. Fall back to high ground, conserve ammo. Grenadiers cover, packs 38 claim stragglers. But Soviet follow-up relentless. Factory stamps out hulls like sausages. German Daimler precision, overmatched by volume. Dusk falls early under smoke. Von Kleist's count, sector losses 40 Panzers versus 250 T-34s. Ratios hold, barely. Radio man whispers, OKH urgent, Soviet reserves exceed estimates, T-34 production accelerating, deep defenses everywhere. Depths awaken, endless steel tide rises. June 22, 1941, 2 p.m. Yelnya salient, 100 kilometers west of Moscow approaches. Sun beats mercilessly on stalled panzer columns. Oberleutnant Hans von Kleist, Panzer III. Ausf.H limps rearward, transmission strained, track shedding mudcakes. 9 T-34 kills notched, but fuel gauge flickers red. Crew silent, faces gaunt. Panzergruppe II net fractures. 6th Panzer, 50% losses. T-34 encirclements closing. Otto Carius's replacement Panzer IV reports from hospital. Waves unbreakable, flank every position. Hasso von Manteuffel orders pullback. Reform at Minsk perimeter, ammo critical. Luftwaffe sorties halved. Stuka's fuel-starved. Mi-109s dogfight Il-2s endlessly. Von Kleist Pier's rear. T-34 pursuit relentless. 4th Tank Corps 250 hulls probing weaknesses. Sloped glacis shrugged Pak 38 fire. F-34 76mm outranges. KWK-38 by 500 meters. Christie suspension vaults ditches. Panzer III torsions groan under weight. Soviet railheads 50 km deep disgorge BT screens. T-34 hammers. Fuel trucks lag. Soviet partisans sever lines. Panzer III guzzles 520 liters 100 km off-road. T-34 diesel sips 240, carries 460 internal. Endless range. German interleaved wheels trap swamp debris. Hours to free one tank. T-34 5-road wheels self-clean bound forward. Ambush erupts. T-34 platoon hull down in birch cover. Lead Ausf.H bruise. 76mm penetrates engine deck. Von Kleist traverses max speed. Loader jams final P's GR-39 APCR. Fire. Side kill. But counter battery walks he across column. 3 Panzers immobilized. Reports confirm nightmare Barbarossa Day, 1,600 Soviet tanks claimed. Reality, 400 destroyed, 2,000 replace. Kharkov tractor factory immune, 1,200 T-34s monthly. German Henschel plants? 200 Panthers year later, volume crushes precision. Von Kleist signals, break contact, high ground rally. Grenadiers abandon half-tracks, MG nests form. KV-1s loom distant, 152mm howitzers pulverize roads, Soviet doctrine, echeloned reserves bleed invaders, dusk brings rain, mud deepens. Von Kleist's optics fog, horizon crawls with more sloped shadows, confidence evaporates, Blitzkrieg stutters, radio man chokes, OKH panic, T-34 superiority confirmed, production 10x hours, Panzer production to Panthers, urgent. Too late for Barbarossa. Tide turns, June 22, 1941, 5:30 p.m. Smolensk outskirts, 250 kilometers from Berlin's dreams. Storm clouds unleash torrents, turning roads to quagmires. Oberleutnant Hans von Kleist's Panzer III Ausf.H hulks in muddy lager. 10 T-34 kills etched on barrel, but engine coughs diesel starvation. Crew huddles under ponchos, rations gone. Panzergruppe II collapses. 6th Panzer encircled, T-34 KV hammer. Otto Carius evacuated, leg shattered by 76mm splinter. Hasso von Manteuffel radios desperation. Fuel zero, T-34 waves 800 sector green, breakout attempt. Luftwaffe grounded, Il-2. Sturmovik strafe unopposed, 37mm cannons brewing panzers like kettles. Von Kleist scans chaos. Soviet 16th Army surges, 13th Tank Corps, 400 T-34s in echelons. Factory fresh, commanders unflinching. F-34 guns outrange, outpenetrate KWK-38 by 800 meters. Sloped hulls render frontal Pak-37 useless. Effective 120mm armor laughs at 50mm shells. Christie tracks conquered deepening mud. Panzer torsion sees solid. Counterstroke erupts. T-34 platoons infiltrate flanks. BT-7 screens suppress. KV-2's 100 DV-2mm pulverized defenses. Von Kleist's optics catch lead wave. 20 hulls bounding overwatch. Fritz traverse left. Flank volley. Final APCR punches side. 11th kill. But return fire glances mantlet. Spall wounds gunner. Net screams. Panzer 17 loss, T-34 penetration complete. Losses mount. Day 1 claims 1,000 Soviet tanks. Audits reveal 500 destroyed, 3,000 reinforce. Kharkov's Stalingrad lines produce 2,500 monthly. Luftwaffe bombs miss Ural's depth. German factories, 150 Panzer III's month, precision bottlenecked. Partisans sever supply. Panzer III carries 300 liters, burns 80 kilometers range. T-34, 460 liters diesel, 300 kilometer and endless. Interleaved tracks bury tanks. Soviet recovery tractors haul sisters forward hourly. Von Kleist orders, abandoned vehicle, infantry rally. Crew spikes gun, flees into woods. Grenadiers form hedgehogs. MG-42 nests claim infantry, but T-34s circle. She walks fire. Night falls under flares. Distant KV booms echo. Barbarossa Day 1, German optimism. Ash, Radio Man's final whisper. OKH horror, T-34 industrial miracle, 50,000 projected. Panzer IV upguns urgent. Panther program now. Reserves awaken. Floodgates open. June 22, 1941, 8 o'clock p.m. Nightcloak Smolensk approaches in inky dread. Torrents carve rivers through mud. Oberleutnant Hans von Kleist crouches foxhole with grenadiers. Panzer III abandoned, spiked gun cooling in lager. 11 T-34 kills his legacy. Distant F-34 booms methodically brew stragglers. Crew scattered, survival slim. Panzergruppe II shatters. 6th Panzer annihilated, T-34 encirclement complete. Otto Carius medevac whispers from field hospital. Infinite replacements, doctrine flawless. Hasso von Manteuffel fights rear guard. Minsk falls tomorrow. T-34 superiority absolute. Luftwaffe absent. L-2's own skies, RS-82 rockets vaporize columns. Von Kleist peers flares. Soviet 20th Mechanized Corps surges. 500 T-34s, echelons endless. Kharkov factory 183 shifts 24/7, 2,500 hulls monthly, welds crude but unbreakable. Stalingrad tractor plant joins 1,000 more. Luftwaffe raids, symbolic. Urals factories beyond range, pumping 3,000 by August. German Henschel, 50 Panthers total 42. T-34 advantages compound. V2 diesel immune cold. Panzer Maybach sees at 20C. 500mm tracks float taiga snow. 380mm interleaved sink. F-34 76-meter penetrates Tiger frontal at 500 mm later. Christie suspension vaults 50 km/h forests. Panzer III max 25 km/h mud. Counteroffensive perfect. T-34 platoons infiltrate. KV-1s anchor. BT screens swarm. Deep reserves rotate fresh brigades. German aces bleed out. Von Kleist PaK-38 crew claims 2 flanks. Then 152mm KV-2 silences forever. Net final gasps. OKH collapse Barbarossa Day 1 to 200 Soviet tanks claimed. Reality 600 lost, 4,000 replace. T-34 production 50,042. Panther Tiger rush futile. Guderian sacked whispers. Sloped armor revolution. We lost initiative. Von Kleist grips MP40. Horizon glows factory fires. East awakens. Blitzkrieg myth dies. Soviet steel tide rolls unstoppably. Dawn breaks red. Barbarossa broken in 24 hours.